So early today, I jumped back into the project for the first time since the last video. Listening to it back, I felt that I didn't like anyone, or I didn't like parts of it. So what I've decided to do is go and find some reference tracks that are like new and relevant that I liked, and then I'm going to use those to kind of work around the track again today. So when I did that, I got a bit carried away and actually continued working on parts of the track. So if you're looking at it here, you might, if you looked at the last episode, you might see that there's a whole percussion section now. I've actually been experimenting with different basses, so I'll just run you through all the stuff that I've actually worked on this morning. So one of the first things I thought when I was listening to it was the fact that the drums sounded pretty boring. So in terms of percussion, there actually isn't a lot going on. If anything, there is no percussion. All it is just the hi-hats and a clap. What I wanted to do is actually experiment with some more drum samples. We've got a 808 rim sound. Very quiet, but it does add a little bit to the groove of the song. I've got a tom hit, and then I've got 2 drum loops which I've cut up and rearranged. And then all together, .909 clap that almost works as a drum fill. I've not really done much in terms of processing any of this stuff other than putting kickstart on some of them, make it groove a bit better with the kick. And here's how it sounds all together. Quiet, but I think it helps a lot. It adds more to the song, so I'm glad I've done it. And then what I worked on after this was the bass. It's not that I dislike the bass, it's just that I feel like it's quite generic. I've actually changed the VST I was using. Before I was using Serum, now I'm using Silent, that's how you say it. And I'm just using the standard pack that comes with it. I've gone through the presets and then I started tweaking the sound waves and just messing around with the preset, making it my own. So this was an idea I had. So the original sound was actually just a simple bass. That's following the same pattern as the previous one. What I started messing around with was the arpeggiator feature inside of Silent, messing with the gates. There's no swing on this one, but you'll see later that I've done another version with swing, and then transposing certain notes. So these long notes are actually, so instead of just playing one note, it's doing a rolling bass line, but it's also transposing the pitch. In this case, if we open Silent again, it's going up 9 semitones, then 7, then 12. So it's quite bouncy, I like it, but I continued trying that effect with different sounds and different presets, and then I feel like this one fits the track a bit better. Now it's important that I'm showing you the cutoff because that's the main reason why I like this sound. I've not done it yet, but I plan on having parts of the song, the cutoff goes up, so then we're getting some interesting sounds, almost like one shots. Probably a bit too excessive there, but you get the idea. So what's quite cool about this, we're using the velocity to change the cutoff and the resonance of the sound. So currently at this part of the track, I'm not doing that. But if I was to increase the velocity of this note, for example, it sounds different. It's because the cutoff and the resonance is actually opening up as that sound's playing. So that's it with that, with it off. That's it with it on. That's a really nice sound that I like, and what's cool about it as well is it kind of fits in of the original track. They're almost almost complementing one another, as if like it's a conversation. They're talking and I'm talking, they're talking, call and response, that sort of thing. So after that, I actually moved on to the synth that I had, and I've changed this again. They're the same chords in this, it's just the arrangement's changed in the sound. The main reason I changed it was I found that when I was listening back to it, it actually sounded like another song I've already made, kind of like the same idea. So I kind of wanted to move away from that just to be a bit more unique. I didn't want to be making another song that followed the same kind of arrangement and melody structure. So I'm still experimenting with this, but this is the sound. I'm still unsure of the pattern, but I do like the sound. It's got that kind of deep tech vibe to it. So yeah, that's where the track's up to. I'm going to spend a couple of hours this evening, hopefully trying to get the arrangement fully done. As you can see, I've actually put in some indicators based on the reference tracks of... I feel like the reference tracks go on a bit too long at the start here. Maybe we need to bring the breakdown forward a bit, because the official breakdown starts at past 3 minutes, so I might change this, but for now let's follow it and then change it at the end. But yeah, let's jump in. There we go. This is just temporary whilst I get the EQ in right, but I don't think I'm far off. I like that bit, that bit's cool. One thing I need to double check is it's just not messing with the bass too much. Obviously these are conflicting sounds, so I may need to compress the bass with this kick. It's very subtle, but I think it helps, so we'll keep it on for now. I do want to just lower around the 100 Hertz area for the bass, just so the kick can punch through a little bit more. One thing I'm hearing when I'm testing on mono is this kick's not fully in mono. It's not a bad thing. If I open up a stereo imager on this, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. See how it's not completely a straight line? That's fully mono. Whereas there's a tiny little bit of stereo width to the kick. Now I'm going to keep it like that because all it is the high end of the kick. You don't have to put a kick in mono completely. Like from looking at that, it's more or less mono anyway. Putting it in mono, we're losing that high end, so I'm going to keep it like that. There's no problems with it anyway when it's in mono, so that's fine. So one thing I've just remembered, this track has no effects in it currently in terms of white noise, uplifters. That intro, or DJ intro, was quite weak. I feel like if we had something like a snare build and some white noise and then some sort of impact here, that will help the transition. It's a bit plain, a bit boring, but it works for now. I might change it out for some sort of pitch riser later, but we'll see. I'm gonna add some swing to it. Too much. That's better. I like to use the utility for the automation rather than automating the mixer channel. There's no reason why you can't automate the mixer channel. The reason I do it this way is I like to use that for mixing purposes rather than actually automating for effects. sounding bad. The arrangement's getting there. Moving stuff around from the previous session just because I didn't feel like it was working there, or it came in too soon. We've got this new bass, so I want to make that shine at this point, and then that's when we can start messing around with the vocals and melody elements. So going back to the effects, we still need some little maybe shots here and there, or some lasers, good old lasers in tech house sounds. I think there's a moth in here. I'm gonna go to Splice. I have so many samples of just like cymbal hits like that, but because I've found it, like as I'm just scrolling through, I'm like, I'll get that one. That's an interesting sample. It's not going to work in the song, but the scratchy nature of it, like the rewind, sounds pretty cool. I'm just wondering if I can potentially do that with some sort of element that's already in the song. I'm going to listen back at my reference tracks just to hear through the song and see what kind of effects they've got. Okay, so after listening to those reference tracks, there actually isn't a lot of effects in there that are noticeable anyway, so I've made a little list of things that I heard. Again, these aren't all necessarily effects, but these are stuff that I want to try and add to my song. There's a simple string, one note that's being played to add some sort of tension. There's a cymbal, it's like either just dry, or when it hitting the breakdown, there's a quarter note delay on it. Reverse kick, reverse clap every 4 bars, some kind of little solo that might work in this track, it might not, and then a laser shot impact, which again is just, I've got what I need from the effects so far, so I'm just going to use these to help certain transitions, and then I can swap them out at the end if I don't like them.
Instead I pour the milk. Instead I pour the milk.
This needs a drum fill. I'm going to see if we can find a decent one. There's a quick tip for you in terms of your browser. My eyes are terrible. I've got contact lenses in. I normally wear glasses too. That writing's so small and I'm like, where is what I'm looking for? I know I need fills, Command F, and that's the search bar. So it'll find anything that's named, so I can see there like hat fin. When I type hat in, it highlights everything that's hat. Little tip for you.
Instead I pour the milk.
So even though I like how this loop sounds, because I know this is a snare, I feel like if I use the snare I've already got, it will help it kind of blend more in with the track. Currently the kickstart's ruining it. I was going to replace it, but layering it sounds quite nice.
instead I pour the milk. Instead I pour the milk. Instead I pour the milk.
This bit's all in all good, the build-up's good, and we're gonna have a funky little bass where the cutoff is gonna open every couple of notes, and then I'm gonna do some more mad stuff hopefully in the second 8 bars before the vocal comes in. Ugh. That just sounds mental. Something that I like to do and just cut all the drums out. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Then we can even start messing with the actual cutoff because this only changes it so much. Oh, I like that. That's naughty. Let's edit you. That's probably too much. Yeah. There we go. Yes. I'm really happy that we've gone with this bass now because I can do so much more with it. I'm starting to think I might not even need these melodic elements if I can just do crazy shit like that. I think this will help it a bit. Get that little sweep that we had earlier can be in there. I like that. I like how it's still dry, there's no cymbal left, but yeah, it's better with that way. Don't want to go too crazy. Too crazy here. Let's cut back a little bit. Thing I've just noticed when I was looking through my plugins folder, I've got a plugin here that I haven't used on this project yet. I've used it several times in other songs. So it's called the Mangle, and basically it is a granular synthesizer. Now I'm not going to go into what that means because, to be honest, I don't properly know. What I will show you is just basically what it sounds like. So these are some presets that come with it. So you've got a nice little guitar loop, and then with all these settings, what it does is it kind of picks out parts of the sound, parts of the loop, and then just plays them, different notes, different pitches, different velocities, different lengths, and you get this almost like a pad sound or some weird effects, and there's loads of stuff you can do. So if I just play it for you, that's the wrong one. And that sound's been made from that guitar sample. It's really cool. So the way I like to use it, or the way I have used it in the past, is I like to drop parts of the vocal in and then just see what can be made with it. Now you've got these presets that have already kind of got all sorts going on, but obviously you can make your own. But to save time, you can just go through all these presets and drop the sample in, see if anything comes out of it. And that's basically been made out of.
And instead I pour the milk.
So I'm just going to mess around. Weird's a good one. Listen to this. Yeah, it's not going to work, but it was cool. It was a cool little idea. But I don't think it's going to be right for this track, so I'm going to delete it. But I wanted to show you that plugin anyway. It's really interesting what you can create, and literally all I did there was drop it into one of the presets I already made, change it from a really low pitch to the regular pitch, and just record it as audio, cut it up, and yeah, you see what you can make with it. Okay, I'm going to call it a night. So what we've done, we've added new percussion, changed the bassline, and some interesting bits with the cut-off filter and the resonance and the pattern in general. It's more of a rolling bass now. We've added effects, some generic ones for the time being. Still need to apply them throughout the track. I've just finished doing some sort of basic arrangement, moved some vocals around. Basically, this part of the track, I'd say, is 90% done. Just needs fine tuning in parts, just need some like effect shots here and there. Next thing I need to work on is the breakdown and what I'm doing with these synths, because I'm not even sure if they're going to work anymore, or well, the current way they're not going to work. I'm bringing them in a bit too late in the track, so that's why they're not sitting with the rest of the elements. If I start introducing them a bit earlier, it might work, but that's something I'm going to figure out in the next video. So yeah, thank you for watching.